Welcome back to LMob Gaming, it's Lynchy, and this is the final ever episode of the Lynchy the Black Ops Noob series. I've just hit level 55, so I'm going to prestige for the very first time. I haven't prestiged before on any COD games, so excuse me if I get stuck in the menus or I don't look like I know what I'm doing, because really I don't. So I'm just going to jump into the menu. I think it's the barracks we go to, and you can see that I'm level 55. You can see my basic stats at the bottom there, with a KD ratio of 0.99, so I'm going to give myself a 1-to-1 KD ratio for my first ever prestige, which I'm fairly happy with. When I first started playing, my KD ratio was probably kind of 0.5 to 1, so to average at 1, I must be performing above 1 to 1 at the moment, so that's a positive sign that shows how much I've improved. There's some additional stats there. You can see I've picked up 114 wins, which I'm probably going to put down to playing with Tinky Terror and Scrummy Sefton, who have helped me out a lot. So let's take a look at some of the leaderboards. I'm going to jump onto the career mode so you can see my overall stats. And I'm in position 3 in comparison to other LMob players. We've got Scrummy Sefton at the top, which is what you'd expect. He's a bit younger, he's a bit faster, and he plays it more than the rest of us. Then we've got his dad, Tinky Terror, just behind him, who plays it a little bit more than I do and has been playing COD for a bit longer. And there I am in third position with 153 score per minute, 237 games played, and 1 day and 6 hours to actually get my first prestige. We've got Sipper there in fourth, which you would expect because he hasn't played the game much. He's only racked up 9 hours, but he's loving the game, so I expect him to improve quickly, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him get his first prestige in a couple of months or so. So let's take a look at the Team Deathmatch leaderboards. As you can see, my KD ratio in Team Deathmatch is slightly higher at 1.07. I've spent most of my time playing team deathmatches, so you would expect my stats to be slightly better here than elsewhere. I think my overall average was brought down by a few matches in the early days when I tried out free-for-all and got absolutely annihilated. You know, I was kind of getting like 5 kills to 15, 20 deaths. So let's take a quick look at free-for-all, and as you can see, there we go, 90 kills to 220 odd deaths, a KD ratio of 0.4. Looks like Tinky Terror doesn't like free-for-all either. He's probably played 1 game if he's run 2019 on this. But Scrummy Sefton, he's a big fan of free-for-all, and he does well there. Not quite high, not quite at the ratio he does on the team deathmatch, but anyone that plays free-for-all knows how difficult it is to maintain a decent ratio on that game. Okay, so let's actually prestige then, shall we? So we're going to enter my first ever prestige. Congratulations, you are now prestige 1. I never thought I'd get there after my first couple of weeks at Black Ops, that's for sure. So let's take a look at the permanent unlocks. I've been thinking about what I should unlock and what would work well for me. So let's just run through some of the options. Ruin, I play as Ruin, so I've got no need to unlock him. He's already unlocked by default. Same with my go-to gun, which is the KN-44. That's the first weapon you have. So again, no need to waste an unlock token on that. I also use the Weevil from time to time, but not enough to warrant an unlock, especially with it being only a level 4 gun. I don't run any lethals because I normally run additional attachments instead. I've got 6th Sense there, which I use. Then I also run Fast Hands, which is open by default. And perk 3, I normally run Awareness, but these things can be unlocked quite quickly using unlock tokens, so I don't think I need to permanently unlock them by any means. I've seen people talk about suggesting unlocking Dead Silence. I've never used it, so I don't think it's wise for me to unlock it at this point until I actually know if it's any good for me and the style of play that I like. Wildcards, on the other hand, I do use quite a lot, especially the additional gun perks. So we've got Primary Gunfighter 1 there, which I could do, but there is a Primary Gunfighter 2 as well, because I only need level 16 for Gunfighter 1, so I'm going to see what it is for Gunfighter 2, which I think is something like level 28 or around there. So if I don't want a secondary gunfighter, because that's for the second weapon, which I don't run the second weapon. What I actually want is primary gunfighter 2. There we go. Yeah, so it's level 28. So I might actually unlock that. So when I hit level 16, I'm going to have both gun slots unlocked, which could work quite well for me. I could just unlock Gunfighter 1, that's another option as well, but I think I'm going to go for Gunfighter 2 because it's easier to get up to level 16, I think, than it is to do the next 12 levels to get to level 28. So I'm going to make that my permanent unlock. It's probably a rare choice and not many people would go for that as an unlock, but there we go, that's what I've gone for. And it'll allow me to kit out my KN-44 fully at level 16 rather than at level 28. So let me just set up my basic class for KN based on what I've got so far. So I have the K in there. Scope, I like the red dot, so I stick with the reflex. I know a lot of people like the ELO scope. It is a nice scope, but I just prefer the red dot. Although I am considering not running an optic this time, see if I can get on with the iron sights, so that will allow me to have one more attachment. So that might be something that I do and practice and see how I get on, and if that's something I can get away with. So I'll just put the quick draw on as well. I like the quick draw. It allows me to compete with some of the SMG users, especially at close range. I can get the gun up nice and quick. I also like to run grip. The KN44 isn't too bad for recoil, but it just helps it that little bit more, keep that recoil under control, especially for those kind of medium range kills. It's absolutely brilliant for. So I like running grip, and as soon as I unlock the primary gunfighter 1 wildcard, which I haven't got just yet, I will be attaching the stock, because I like to be able to move quicker whilst aiming down the scope. And then when I get primary gunfighter 2, it will be a choice between either rapid fire or extended mags, one of the two. Sometimes I alternate between the two, see which one I prefer. So yeah, that's the plan. I'm looking forward to my second prestige, and also seeing how my stats are at the end of my second prestige. And as is the end of the Lynchy, the Black Ops Noob series, let me know what you think I should refer to myself going forward. Should I stay as Lynchy the Noob, or is there something else I can call myself? Obviously I can't call myself Lynchy the Pro, I'm nowhere near that yet, but let me know what you think in the comments below.